as your background. Don't put the light from behind you. Put the light from behind you. Make that hollow light come here. Use this light. When you do light, you don't put the sun behind you. You put the light in front of you. That's how lighting works. Mom, you don't need this light. The light come from this way.
Check, there's anything showing there? I know these people are
Mommy, nothing is showing there. The camera is
closed because I gotta take down everything.
this door.
Mariah is plastic by behind the door. Bring this extension cord so I can get moving.
Sit down.
I'll leave the extension cord there so I don't know if it can reach far enough. Okay. I'll bring it and put it behind you then. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to my virtual interactive event. And today's virtual interactive event is going to be Kwanza. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Welcome, everyone. Happy Sunday and happy holidays to everyone. I hope everyone had a happy and safe holiday. And there's another one ahead of us, the new year. Good afternoon, Miss Deacon McElroy. How are you? How are you? Good afternoon. Deacon Love, you have to put your camera on. I can't see you. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to those in the background and to those in the chat. How was your holiday, Deacon Sheila McElroy? Deacon Sheila McElroy, how was your holiday? How was your holiday? Yes, this is the day that the Lord has made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. Yes, yes, we should be rejoicing. Not only today, but every day. One second, guys. I need to find out. Wonderful, yes. Let me find out what's going on with Deacon Love. One second.
family tuning in on Aunt Cece's Kitchen at the same time. And I think we're ready now. We're ready. So okay. Thank you. Thank you. Hello. Hello everyone.
Pretty. Oh,
All
we
right.
have a date?
It is I have the I have this light on, and I mean, yeah, it looks like it looks like high noon in here because the my light is like I got it up full blast, and everything. But I'm just gonna not focus, on the light, but I'm definitely in the light today. Yes. It's
Hey,
so good to see you, Miss Griffith. How are you?
I'm good.
What's going on? Hello, Aunt
I love the
Cece's
look.
Kitchen
I
family.
love that you're doing everything. I love that outfit. Ooh.
Thank you. Yeah, this is
I,
my Kwanzaa. This is my Kwanzaa do. I'm trying to, you know,
yeah,
I'm being
I
very
can have
cultural today.
I can have to talk to Mr. Love because you're looking too scrumptious for me now.
Oh my goodness. You know, he
Yeah.
he gave me my Christmas presents. So I guess it's showing. Anyway, uh, it's so good to see you guys. Hello, 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 hello,
Oh,
Facebook
oh,
family.
that's
Hello, Aunt
nice.
Cece's Kitchen
It
family.
looks
I'm
pretty. I
so
like it. I
excited
love
to
it.
be
Very
here. It's so
beautiful.
good to see you guys. I hope that you all had a great Christmas. Those of you that celebrate Christmas, I hope and pray that you all are enjoying this Kwanzaa time and the winter season festivities, all of them. So, how was your Christmas, Miss Griffith? Mine was awesome.
My Christmas was not like you guys. My Christmas was just quiet, working, and that's it.
Mine was very noisy. It was very noisy. The whole tribe, my tribe, we all came and celebrated Christmas at my son's Timotheus's house. And
Yes.
it was all of our first time having Christmas there and everything. And it was a lot of food, a lot of talking. Um, it was just a lot, but we had a great time. My grandson
That's
was
good.
there, and he likes it loud. He likes it loud, so he made sure to keep us all busy. Um, we left there really really late. We left there something like 3 o'clock in the morning, and my little grandson was up till 2. Okay, himself. He he just was so excited, and he really wanted to make sure he got the best out of Christmas. Okay, um, and so but it was really really nice, and I'm just so grateful to for my family. Shout out to my son's fiance, Jamila, who cooked. You put your foot in it, girl. It was something else. It was something else. Yeah. Yeah. She made a lot of food, and it was really really good, and it was our first time um having her cook for all of us. And it was because usually we do, each one of us cook in my house, and in my family we each cook. So when we do Christmas, Thanksgiving, everyone just brings one of their favorite dish, or one of their dishes that they cook well. Okay, so that we all could eat. Christmas and Thanksgiving, that's not the time to experiment in my family. We don't experiment on those days because we just want to eat and eat good food. And Jamila this year, she was like, "Don't no one cook anything." She said to my husband, she said, "Okay, Pop, you can bring the pineapple upside down cake. That's it. I got everything else." And we were like, "You sure? You sure?" And she did it, and I mean, she really did an awesome job, and so yeah, um, so I'm a few pounds heavier, thanks to her. I'll just work it out, and work it off. But yeah, I'm so glad to see all of you all, and I want to just get into it and everything today. Today, we're going to be talking about Kwanzaa. Um, yeah, I see you all over there on Facebook, family. Thank you, thank you. But yeah, we're gonna talk about Kwanzaa today. Now, what is Kwanzaa? Oh, yeah, it's a holiday. It's a holiday. Uh, it's a holiday that was birthed out of um, the United States. It's a holiday that was originally celebrated by and created by African Americans. And um, what it is that it was created in an attempt to um, create an ethnic cultural tradition for African Americans or people of African descent in the diaspora. Okay, and the holiday was created and celebrated in um, the mid '60s, I believe, 1967, I believe, but I might be a little off by that, so don't quote me. But um, it was created so that it was birthed out of African pride, um, uh, particularly African pride for Africans in the diaspora. Um, and so it's a um, time set aside. It's 7 days. It starts December 26th. And it goes for 7 days all the way to January 1st. Okay. And so it was placed in between at that time so as to, uh, not to allow people, those who celebrate Christmas can celebrate Christmas, and then they can celebrate Kwanzaa, and then celebrate New Year's. And so it's a time of celebration and acknowledgement and recognition for Africans in the diaspora. Okay. Now, Kwanzaa, the word Kwanzaa means first fruits. And so the concept was that um, it's a time of after the harvest, and the harvest usually happens in the fall. Okay. Once you gather the harvest, the fruit um, has been sown, and the seeds have been sown and nurtured and grown, and now those seeds have turned into um, uh, plants and trees and um, uh, you know, vegetables and things of that nature, and they bearing fruit. So you collect all of these wonderful fruits and vegetables and things of that nature, and you harvest them. You collect it all and you harvest them. And before you harvest them, meaning that collect all of it, then you prepare it. Some of it is going to be stowed away for use or consumption at a different time, and some is going to be used right away. And so before you stowed um, the fruits and vegetables and your harvest, before you uh, portioned it out so that you could store it away, you would present the first fruits. And you would present the first fruits to God, um, an act of thanksgiving, an act of appreciation for the one who uh, granted the increase and wrought the fruit. Okay, and that's God. So Kwanzaa means first fruits. So out of the first fruits, um, you show your appreciation, your gratitude. You devote the first fruits, which are the the ones that you have, that they're usually the best, and you dedicate it to um, to your higher power. Just acknowledging that if it wasn't for the Creator, you would not have any fruit, let alone first fruits. So, Kwanzaa means first fruit. That's what it means, and um, the Kwanzaa is celebrated for 7 days, like I stated a little bit earlier. And each day has a principle or um, a theme or a thought that you would focus on. And those seven principles are referred to as the Nguzu Saba. And that simply means the those seven principles. Um, each one of those principles, they're there's a each one of those principles represent um, something that you can appreciate, celebrate, take action for. That would be to your personal upliftment, your community upliftment, the race upliftment as well. Okay, worldwide. Okay, so those principles, and we're going to go through all seven of them. But each of the principles, they represent a fruit. Um, and the idea is that if you incorporate these principles into your life, um, it would be for the betterment of you, your community, your family, uh, Africans as a whole, and the whole world. So that is the thought. Now, what are these seven principles? What are these fruits? Okay. Before we go into the fruits exactly, I don't know why this is making noise. Okay. Before we go into the fruits, the Kwanzaa has uh, there's some symbols that go with Kwanzaa, and there is a uh, it's a candle holder that has seven uh, candles. Okay, the candles are in the colors of red, black, and green. Okay, and the uh, candle holder that it is in um, is called a menorah, and so each day we put the seven candles in, um, and in the middle the black candle, and then on one side is three green candles, and then on the other side is three red candles. And each day you would light one of the candles, um, representing that day, day one, day two, day three, something like that. And you would light that candle and think about or focus on the principle for that particular day. Okay. And so, and that's called a menorah. Um, there's fruits um, that in your Kwanzaa uh, celebration display. There's a basket of fruit there as well. So you got your menorah, you got your basket of fruit, In your menorah, you have your candles. Um, there is uh, a mat that you place everything on. Um, your little, it's a mat that you place everything on, and also you have the kuumba, the cup. Um, it's a cup that you use to either pour libation, to the ancestors, um, in tribute to those that have gone on before us. Um, and so that's there as well. Okay, so those are some of the things that you need in terms of your Kwanzaa display. Those are really basic. Some people have very elaborate Kwanzaa displays. Um, some people have very basic Kwanzaa displays, but those are the basic things that you need in your Kwanzaa display. And like I said, um, the menorah candles are lit um, one per day um, of each of the 7 days. So um, I want to go through the seven principles, and then you can ask questions. Um, you can put your questions in the chat, comments in the chat, and everything. And I'm interested in knowing those who celebrate Kwanzaa. Um, how do you do it? Okay, and so we can put that in the chat as well. Right. So the Nguzo Saba, those are the seven principles that are focused on, celebrated during Kwanzaa. Okay. Now, Kwanzaa uh, is, it's about family. It's about community. It's not a time where you know it's just you. Um, so it's celebrated with others, um, and so there's a lot of gathering. There's a lot of group participation. um, Kwanzaa, I mean, you can celebrate it by yourself if that's what you choose to do, but it's created to be very, you know, group oriented. And so you want to keep that in mind as you decide to put together your Kwanzaa celebration or what have you. So, okay, I'm just here. Now, the Nguzu Saba, like I said, there are 7 days, and each day is represented by a different principle. Okay, and the principle, um, that's the theme of that day. So you're thinking about that particular principle, or you might be, um, your activities might be inspired by that particular principle on that day, or you might do research or plan um, for in the future how you can incorporate that principle in your life, not only on that day. Okay, so now day one, which is usually December 26th. Okay, that's the first day of Kwanzaa, and that first day, the that's the day of Umoja. Umoja. Um, the different principles. Um, they are the words for them are um, Kiswahili words, and each one of the words, um, you would say that when you're lighting the candle for that day, and you would say what it is in Kiswahili as well as in English. So, day one, December 21st, 26th, excuse me, is Umoja. Umoja, okay? And Umoja, it means unity, okay? Um, and so on December 26th, that's when you take time out to think about unity. Unity in the family, unity in the community, unity in the entire race. So you're thinking about Africans in the diaspora, Africans, on the motherland, and you're thinking about becoming one with all of all of them, all of us. Okay, so um, your unity. You're thinking about Umoja. So your activities on December 26th would be uh, inclusive or themed by unity. So some of the things that people do on December 26th, Umoja Day, they might have a family gathering. They might have a community meeting or do a community meal, something like that, where, a lot of people will gather and come and partake of the meal, and just do something, you know, group oriented, but do it together, uh, reiterating unity. Okay. All right. Day two, December 27th. Okay. Which is today. Um, Today is the day of self determination, and that Kiswahili word is kujika galia. Kujika galia. Okay, and that word simply means self determination. And what self determination refers to is uh, defining yourself, defining yourself as people, defining yourself as a group, as a family, even. Uh, Self determination. Some of the things and the ideas around self determination is that you don't want to have other people try to explain who you are to you. Okay. Um, Very often you see in the media, but there were many different portrayals of uh, people of color, many different portrayals displayed on TV and in the media, so that people who were not familiar with African Americans or Africans in the diaspora, period, they would look at TV and get certain images and get certain um ideas in their mind about what people of African descent are like and who they are. And a lot of those images were not true, or not true for all of us, or not true at all. Okay. So, for example, uh, not so much now, but there was a long time where the only time you saw uh, Black people on TV or in the media was negative uh, in a negative light or a subservient light. So, for example, the there was a show on TV, a movie, I believe it was, and one of our um, great actresses, she actually got an award for her performances in that movie, but she played um, Aunt Hattie, and she had a head scarf on. We call it a head rag, and she was she was a voluptuous woman, and she was in the kitchen, and she was the cook. She also was the maid. And she had this uh, wonderfully beautiful round face with the head rag on and long apron, and she was she portrayed the maid and the cook uh, in that movie um, that was on TV, and it was portrayed a lot, and she did such a great job in playing the maid and the cook, and that that image stayed in people's minds for a very, very long time, so that every time they looked at a black woman, they assumed that, you know, she should have a head rag on, and that she could cook, she can clean, she's a maid. Um, and so that was just one of that image became a stereotype. Um, and so and it was based on this wonderful African American actress whose name, Lord forgive me, escapes me right now, but she actually um, got she won uh, an Academy Award for her performance, and I believe the movie was that is escaping me also. Um, okay, but it'll come back to me if anyone knows what I'm talking about. If you could put it in the chat, the name of the movie. It was a movie that was created in I believe in the 30s, and the woman that played the mammy, she was in, she was the she took care of the little baby. She was the maid. She was also the cook, and I can't for the life of me think of the movie or the actress's name. But anyway, she became, her portrayal in that role, her acting, you know, uh, just became etched. Her character became etched in everyone's mind to the point where people felt like, that's how all black women are, and that image stayed so strong in people's minds that it was that image that got placed on the bottle of syrup, okay, which we call today Aunt Jemima syrup. That was a syrup that, you put on your pancakes. It was really, really good. It became very, very popular. It's still very, very popular today. Um, and the character for Aunt Jemima, you know, that image still, is around today. Um, I do believe they kind of upgraded Aunt Jemima. She's still on the cereal and everything. I mean, excuse me, on the syrup, but I think she has an updated image now. I don't think she's still wearing the head rag, but she's still there grinning, and which shows that whole image stereotype about um, black women being great cooks and you know great maids and all of that. Um, that image is still there. And, different companies and that market products utilize those images, those stereotypes, and it makes people want to buy it. So, um, and also, n- uh, the Aunt Jemima image also influenced Mrs. Butterworth, Worth, um, which is another syrup. So, just to show you how, certain images, stereotypes have come about. Uh, uh, and on day two, we do activities around and we focus on Kujika Kalia, which is self determination. And you know, I say all of that to say that we as people of color want to not allow other people to um, define who we are or put those images out and that represents us. We want to be able to have control over the images that are out there, which represent us. We want to be able to choose those for ourselves and represent ourselves and let the world see who we are and explain who we are for ourselves, not leave it to someone else that's not as familiar with who we are and our beauty, our strengths, our intellect. You know, those things will not be left out of those images. And so now today, we've incorporated self determination in our lifestyle. And so and we thank God for the different movie and TV producers. Shout out to people like Tyler Perry and people of that nature that uh, create movies and things, put things out on TV which show us our different light, different images. Yes, we did. There was a time where there were, we as um, women of African descent, yeah, we were the maids, we were the nannies, we were the cooks for a very long time. But that wasn't all of who we were. Okay. We were also singers and dancers, and um, we also were, you know, becoming more current. We also became doctors and lawyers and everything. We weren't just, you know, one dimension. So, practicing Kujika self determination, helped to broaden our image and help inspire us to put out different images of who we are so that now people other people can see that we're not just this or that. Okay, you see us more doing all kinds of things for work, for as a career, as a art, a craft, or even as a performance. So that's Kuji Ka Gali. And today being the 27th, um, what is traditionally what traditionally happens during Kwanzaa time is when you greet people, you would greet them stating the principle of the day. So happy Kujikalia Day, self-determination. Okay. So day three, the December 28th. That day is called uh, Ujima. Ujima, uh, spelled Ujima. Ujima. And Ujima is called that word means collective work and responsibilities. Okay, it's a big word, um, Ujima, where it's basically teamwork. Um, a group working together towards a certain goal, working together to achieve something great. Okay. So on the third day, you would focus on working together and taking responsibility for that to make sure that work gets done together. So on that day, it's your activities and your focus and even your conversation is around uh, Ujima. And so you would think of things that you can do, different projects on that day that um, a group of you would come together and work together. Teamwork. Why? Because teamwork makes the dream work. Okay. And so on that day, uh, the thought is that you would link up with other people, and come up with a common goal and work towards it so that it's not just one or two people trying to achieve that goal. Um, on that day, the idea is not the chiefs, just the Indians. Everybody's an Indian and everybody's going to work together. Okay. Um, and I say it like that, but um, our Native American brothers and sisters, shout out to you as well. Um, and you too are people of color, you know. So that's Ujima, okay? So you would, do an activity that everybody can do together. It's also a day of problem solving. Okay, that's the responsibility part. I talked about the working together part, but the responsibility part, taking ownership of, you know, what it takes to achieve that goal, that accountability, who dropped the ball, why didn't the goal get achieved? That's, taking responsibility for even the mistakes or the mishaps that happened that prevented you perhaps from your group from achieving the goal. So Ujima is collective work and responsibility. That's day 3. Okay. Day 4, we're going to move on to, and day 4 is Ujama. It sounds really similar to Ujima, but it's a totally different word. Ujama, okay? And Ujama is cooperative economics, okay? Um, this principle is talking about how we as a people can um, support ourselves um, as a group, cooperative economics, uh, putting all of your resources together um, so that you'll have more and it could be evenly distributed. All of the resources can be evenly distributed so that everyone has and everyone can move forward together. Okay. And so on the on day 4, Ujama Day, The activities would be around, um, you know, finances or um, economics, collective economics, putting your resources together and working together financially to achieve a goal. So the activities would be around supporting Black businesses or starting a Black business, or um, collective or group investment. Those are the kinds of activities that um, one would be thinking about on day 4, um, Ujama. So on that day, um, which is um, which is tomorrow actually. No, I'm sorry. It's Tuesday, right? Just want to make sure. Yeah, it's Tuesday. Um, on that day, people uh, will do something like, uh, spend their money with Black business, buy Black, um, or they might make some investments. Invest in, do a group investment activity. So um, you might have heard of susu. You might invest in a susu or put money in a susu, um, or some kind of group uh, investment, group sharing of resources. You might have base your activities for that day around those type of things. Okay, so that's Ujama. All right. Okay. Day 5 is Nia. Nia. And Nia simply means purpose. Okay. Um, the idea behind Nia is working towards purpose, trying to discover or find out what your personal purpose is, so that you can work towards your purpose. Um, or you might be in a group, and you know that group has a purpose. Why are you together? What do you stand for? Um, Things of that nature. So the focus on day 5, Nia Day, is on purpose. What is my purpose? Why am I here? What am I to do? Okay. The beautiful thing about Nia is that everyone has Nia. Everyone has purpose. The Creator, He created us all on purpose, not by accident. And when He created us individually, and uh, Scripture declares that He created us uh, intricately. Intricately, He took His time as He created us. Um, a couple of weeks ago, I was talking about uh, our differently able brothers and sisters, and we being that this month of December is also differently able people's appreciation month. I had spent some Sundays talking about differently able and being differently able. And one of the things that came out in my research and even in my messages is that being differently able is just that, being differently able, being able different, okay? And being that our God, the Creator, He does not create carbon copies. God is not into cloning. Doesn't He didn't clone nary not one of us. He didn't clone us. Okay. Um, he took his time in terms of forming and fashioning us. Uh, he was the one that mixed and remixed DNA and formed us, and so we are who we are. And the beautiful thing about God and His creation is each creation is unique and original. So, um, this particular creation that you're looking at, uh, uh, whose spirit is named Tahis, God put that spirit together, put all of this together, and He put it together in a particular way. And the creation that He named Tahis is different from the creation that He named Miss Griffith, or the creation that He named you, or your brother or sister. Um, God does not clone. He makes originals. Everything He makes is an original. And so um, it's an original, and He made it that way purposefully for His purposes, declares. And so we all were created with a purpose. We all should live on purpose, according to our purpose. And the only way you can live according to your purpose is that you got to go to the one that made you to find out what your purpose is. Okay. And that's a journey in and of itself. So, um, and God, He created all of us different but able. And we are even able in different ways. So we're all differently able. And we are created in His image, scripture. And being created in His image, in the Creator's image. And He created us all different and able. That means that He's the God of differently able. Okay? Because His ways are not our ways, His thoughts are not our thoughts. He doesn't do what we do. And we can try to be like Him, but we can't do everything that He does. So He is different and very much able. He's the most differently able, because He created all of us. He created all of us differently able. So, and He did that all on purpose. Nia. So on day 5, the day of purpose, Nia, that's when you engage in activities that will be on purpose or be about you seeking your purpose. Okay, that's Nia. Day 6, moving right along. Day 6 is Koumba. Koumba. Okay, Koumba is a Kiswahili word that means creativity. Isn't that wonderful how that works out? Day 5, you're working towards your purpose and finding out what your purpose is, and then on day 6, you create uh, creativity because we are created in the image of God. We get to create. So we create. He gives us uh, that ability to create. Um, and that's once again shows how much we are like our Creator. Um, we are His children. But yes, creativity. So, Koumba, you get your focus is on being creative, making stuff happen. That those are the thoughts and um, the focus of on that day, on day 6, is creativity. So very often what people do on Kaumba day is that they'll make something. So they might do some arts and crafts. They might create something. Might write a book or write a poem. They might they might sew something or create something with their hands. They might craft something on that day. So the activities is about creativity, creation, making stuff happen. Okay. So that's day 6, uh, Kuumba, day of creativity. And then last but not least, day 7 is Imani, Imani Day. And Imani means faith. Faith, what is faith? Okay. The Bible declares that um, faith is a substance of things hoped for, but not yet seen. Okay. That's faith. Faith means belief, to believe. Okay. And so on Imani Day, you think about not necessarily doctrine, um, you know, things like religious stuff like that. You think about, okay, what do I believe? What do I believe about myself? What do I believe about others? Um, it's belief, okay? Believing in yourself, you know, believing that, I am a child of God. I am created with a purpose. I am created to do great things. Those are the kind of things that, you think about on Imani Day. You start thinking about your faith. You start thinking about what it is that you believe. Who do you believe in? What What do you believe? And your activities is activities based on faith. So, okay, uh, on Imani Day, you might decide that you want to start a business and actually do it. Um, you might want to start something on that day, believing that you can do it. Okay. So Imani, it means faith. And on day 7, you start believing. Well, you don't start. The focus is on believing that you can do all things. And as the scriptures declares in Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. So Imani is a day of faith. Okay. Um, and faith is belief, believing in yourself, believing in others, um, um, believe, you know, um, believe in all of the uh, other 6 principles that came before, and believing that you can incorporate all 7 of those principles into your life and be a better person, uh, a better community member, a better uh, person, citizen of the world. That's the mind. So those are the 7 Nguzo Saba, 7 principles that are celebrated uh, during the week of Kwanzaa. And so, you know, anyone have any questions or comments?
Okay, Miss Deacon Love.
Yes. Who has
Deacon Love.
questions or comments? Ms. Griffith, can you hear me? Yes.
Deacon, can you hear me? Yeah. You was asking
I,
about the
I
movie.
can
Is the
I
movie
can
name
hear you.
the black? Is the movie name the
What
Black
is it?
Candle?
I'm sorry. You coming in and out. It's called what?
The the movie for
What's
the Kwanzaa, is it named Black Candle?
oh, that's the Kwanzaa movie. Um,
Yeah, the Black Candle.
yeah, that's a Kwanzaa movie, but the movie I was thinking of, um, it was in the 19 uh I want to say 30s. And it was oh, it was a movie. I can't think of it. Does anyone know first uh the first black woman uh to win an Academy Award? I believe it was an Oscar. She won it playing um the role of the nanny, the cook. I want to I can't think of her name, but something is saying Hattie something, but I'm not sure if that's her name. But Black Candle, that's a Kwanzaa movie. But that's not the movie that I was thinking about.
Okay.
In my head, I keep thinking Gone with the Wind, but it's not that. Is it Birth of a Nation? I believe it is. I believe it might be Birth of a Nation. That's the movie. Thank you, Lord. And it's a very old movie. Had a lot of what we call
Hattie,
today, huh?
Hattie McDaniel.
Yes, yes,
Hattie
yes.
McDaniel. Yes, Hattie McDaniel.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Griffin. All right. See, you knew the answer the whole time. You just wanted me to struggle. That's all right. That's all right. Thank you, though. Yes, Hattie McDaniel. She played the role of she played a cook, a maid, um, and she wore the head tie and her costume for her character. Uh, she played that role so well that it became uh etched in people's minds to the point where you know people of other ethnicities thought that every black woman was like the character that actress Hattie McDaniel had played. Um, and that's because she played her role, okay, and she did it well, But yes, thank you so much, Hattie McDaniel. That's right. That's right. She when she was an actress. She you know played her role and acted, and did her job. And with regards to that, um, maybe she knew. I don't think she knew that her character would become an image in people's minds that people would use to define African American women. Okay. But and it was that for a very long time. But let's thank God for self-determination. Okay. Kujika Galia, where now we all understand that yes, we as black women, we take on many roles and we serve in many different professions. And now when you look at a black woman, you don't assume that, oh, you know, she she must be the maid or the cook. You know, now when you look at us, you have to engage in conversation with us to find out what is it that we do for a living and who we are and what we think, But uh yes, Hattie McDaniel, thank you so much for that. Are there any questions or comments with regards to Kwanzaa?
Audience, any questions or comments for Deacon Love? Any questions
Okay.
or comments?
I'm just going to look to see if there's any comments here with my Facebook family. Uh, all right. Shout out to Lynn Anderson. Good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. All right. Shout out to Adelaide Von Bastion. Hey, Miss Adelaide. Thank you for tuning in. Forgive me if I didn't say your last name correctly. Hey, Julius. Thanks for tuning in once again. Oh, my goodness. Adelaide says, "Hey, Thais. Good to see you, girl." Is I'm now I'm going to go and check you out, and so I can see you. But I'm so glad that you are watching, and happy holidays to you too as well. Okay. Hello, Lena Reyna. How are you? Hello, Nicole Robertson. All right. All right. And yes, unity. That's right. Unity in the community. Thank you for that comment. Hello, Miss Darlene. How are you? Thanks for watching. Okay. Um, I found a question. All right. And Shireen Stover writes, when was Kwanzaa founded? Kwanzaa was founded in the mid 60s by Mulana Koringa, Mr. Brother Mulana Koringa, okay, and Dr. Mulana Koringa, as a matter of fact. And Dr. Koringa, he was very concerned about the culture of African Americans um, and Africans in the diaspora, because in school, um, uh, children of African descent, they go to school, they learn history, and they learn about history of everyone else, and they're not as included in history as other people. And that's still very much a concern in our educational system to this day, where the child learns about American history, European history, um, uh, uh, history of different places around the world. But when that African American child is taught about American history is taught to them in a way where they don't see themselves in history, except for being told that, oh well, uh, you were part of the slave trade, and your ancestors were slaves, and that's about it. you know they're not taught about the many contributions of uh, African Americans to this country and the many contributions of people of African descent to this country, or even uh, the uh, impact of people of color, not only here in this country, but around the world. Like, that's not spoken much about. Um, but God is so good that uh, we have the Native American, excuse me, we have the African American Museum um, in Washington, D.C. It's an awesome place. If you ever get a chance to go by Washington, D.C., do stop by the African American Museum there. It is uh, chocked full of evidence of um, the contributions of people of African descent um, in this country. It has something like, I believe it's 6 floors, and you walk through and you see all of the exhibits and all of the things there. It's when I went, I had the pleasure of going a couple of years ago when it first opened, and um, when I went, we actually spent a weekend out there. Where we went out there on we got there, we visited, we got there on Friday afternoon. We went to the museum, spent all day Saturday, and then uh came back again and spent half the day on Sunday, just so that we can look at all of the exhibits and spend ample time at each exhibit. You can easily spend, 3 days in there. It was so informative. It was so much to see, and I was glad that I got a chance to go there because it made me uh, feel proud, even more proud to be an African American. Um, but it also showed me how being an African American in this country, um, my relationship with my country is complicated. Okay, so being an African American um, in this country, our history is, you know, that we've had, you know, a kind of complicated relationship with uh, this country. Being a citizen in this country has been very complicated because on the one hand, uh, you you love this place. This is your home. This is your place of birth. But sometimes the people here, other people that are citizens here with you, don't love you the same way or don't receive you the same kind of way. And that shows, it's reflected very much in our history. And so, yeah, I would suggest you go there for that. But yes, Dr. Karenga had created Kwanza uh, in the 60s. I want to say 1960. I want to. I believe it's 1969 to be exact. But I know it was the late 60s. Um, I believe it was 69 to be exact, but don't quote me on it exactly. Um, I will have to look that up and bring that back to you, or if someone can quickly just look that up and find out the exact year that Kwanzaa was uh, was launched. Okay, but Dr. Karenga had founded and started Kwanzaa um, with the argument that, uh, to improve um, the self-esteem of African Americans and people of African descent all over the world. Um, and he created it in a time where there was a lot of turmoil and racial discrimination and civil rights. It was a very tumultuous time that uh, Kwanzaa was created and birthed in. And it was created to try to uh, resolve some of those issues that African Americans and Africans in the diaspora deal with regards to racism and discrimination. And so it was created for those reasons. But thank you, Sister Stover, for that question. Uh, and okay, so any other questions, comments?
There's no questions or comments on this end.
All right, and I'm just gonna check really quickly. Uh, uh, and thank you so much. Okay, and I'm seeing here that there aren't any more questions on this end. Okay. Uh, all right. So then, thank you, Annette Lyons, for tuning in. Shout out to you. This is like the second or third week in a row, right? All right, I see you. Hello, Miss Ray Erica Glenn. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. William Williams, hi, how are you? Thank you for tuning in as well. All right. And thank you. Yes, I'm going to end on a note. If there be no more questions, I'm going to end on this note. Sister Shireen Stover said, knowledge is power. Yes, and that is so true. Um, Dr. Mulana Karenga believed that very notion as well as he uh, created, founded, and put forth Kwanzaa. He wanted us as African Americans, Africans in the diaspora, to know our history, to know our culture, due to um, situations that happened with the African slave trade. We, as Africans, shipped out to uh, the Americas and different parts of the world, we uh, were stripped of our connection to the motherland, to our culture. And so we literally, wherever we landed after the African slave trade, we literally, um, what remnants that we had when we landed at the different parts, we recreated culture around that. Uh, and for those of us who are African American, um, we too have done the same thing. And so we thank God for Dr. Mulana Karenga, the founder of Kwanzaa, this holiday we call Kwanzaa. And we thank God for all of those that fought to make sure that the celebration and tradition of Kwanzaa is available so that everyone can celebrate and know about Kwanzaa and celebrate themselves and their community. So thank you so much for letting me share, taking time out of your wonderful Sunday afternoon on this day, Kujikat Galia Day. All right, self-determination. You took the time out of your day to share with me and allow me to talk about Kwanzaa. So thank you so much. Don't forget to like, share, and continue to comment. Both Miss Griffith and I, we check the comments during the week several times, and we love, love, love hearing from you. So continue to, talk to us and everything. Miss Griffith, do you have any closing comments?
Okay, first of all, I want to thank you, Deacon Love, and thanks to those in the chat and to those in the background. If you guys have any suggestions of any things you want us to, topics that you want us to speak about, you can send them to Deacon Love at dunamasongmine@gmail.com, or you can send it to myself at ancc@gmail.com, and we both will receive them and we will put it out there for you. Again, if there's anyone that have any expertise that want to join the panel, you can contact me again at ancc@gmail.com or deaconlove at dunamasongmine@gmail.com. Or you can also contact Florencia Chang Ajita, and I will get the information so that you guys can be a part of the panel. I wish everyone a wonderful and safe Sunday and happy holidays to everyone. Happy New Year in advance. It's around the corner. It'll be here soon. Happy New Year in advance to everyone. Thank you, Deacon Love. I think she's on mute.
Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you, Miss
you're welcome.
Griffith. Thank you
Yes.
for making this Aunt Cece's Kitchen platform available to everyone. So, everyone, these platforms are here for you, and it's you that make these shows possible and interactive and informative. It's you that share these videos so that everyone can learn something, experience something, and be better. I just like to thank Miss Griffith again for having me on CC's Kitchen and just making this platform open and available for people like me to share. Um, I Because of her, I'm not only sharing on Aunt CC's Kitchen, but I'm also I have my own platform where for Dudamus Sound Mind Services, where I get the chance to share with my Facebook family as well on Facebook Live. And so I'd just like to thank you all for just allowing me to share. I'll be here again. Um, those of you that can, I will be live tomorrow, Monday morning, um, at 10 a.m. And there that's we have our me time Mondays. Okay, that's a me time Monday show, so tune in um, tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. We discuss uh, and go over different activities where you take time out for no one else but me, you. So it's Me Time Mondays at 10 a.m. Feel free to, tune in and find out how you can be a better you and taking care of you. So um, self-care is very, very important, and we talk very much about different things that we can do to uh, increase our self-care and thus increase self-love. Okay. Well, that's all that I have for now. Take care. Thank you all so much. And be blessed, low stress, and don't get into mess. Okay. Take care. Bye bye. Thanks so much.
Bye bye.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
Deacon Love. Everyone,
Bye
have a
bye,
great
Miss
day.
Griffith. You too. Have a great day.
Everyone, thank you. Bye bye.